Hey CAD friends, if you're part of the Prusa community, you might know that their Discord server started a monthly design challenge. This month's challenge is to design an organizer for all your 3D printing tools and accessories. It just so happens I have a lot of tools and accessories that need to be organized. So in this week's episode, I'm going to show you my submission for the monthly competition. Let's go. Alright, so for this build, the tools that I kind of want to incorporate are my bottle of isopropyl alcohol that I use for cleaning the beds. I want to include my glue stick that I use for flexible filaments, my pliers that are used for cutting the filament, screwdriver, and all my Allen keys for all the adjustments I do on my printer, spots for some extra nozzles, and a holder for some SD cards. Then I'm thinking even maybe kind of a pouch in it or something, or like a slot in the back to hold my sandpaper and Scotch-Brite that I just use to kind of clean up prints when they're done. And then I've kind of seen some drawer organizers, so I think we're going to put something like that in it as well to hold kind of all the spare parts. So to start off, I kind of laid stuff out on a table to get some measurements. We're going to work our way from the biggest objects down to the smaller ones. So we're going to start with the isopropyl alcohol and getting that all positioned first. So to start, we're going to start with a sketch on the top plane, and we're going to kind of make the rough base that we want. So the isopropyl alcohol is about 3 inches. That's a plus sign, we want 3 inches. And then laying everything else out, it's going to be about 6 inches. And that was pretty close. And then we're going to make some geometry here so that I can get a center point. So our datum is going to be kind of right in the middle there. And then we'll just trim this up. Perfect. We'll extrude boss that out 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch, and that's going to be our base we're going to work off of there. So for the isopropyl alcohol, I'm just thinking of kind of like a cup holder for it. So I think if we just offset this, just kind of offset this. We want to grab that edge, collinear, 1/8 of an inch, and extrude boss that up maybe 1 inch. Yeah, that should be good. That's perfect. And then the bottle will just kind of sit in there. So now we need to kind of make an upright in the back to hold that glue stick and whatnot. We're just gonna go across here and find a home for it. And I think this worked out to be 1.25 inches. And we'll just convert this edge. No, we'll convert this inside edge. And once again, trim tool is our friend. Extrude boss that up. And I think this needs to be about 3 inches so that the screwdriver doesn't bottom out. So there we go, we kind of got that. I hate this corner, it looks, this corner is ugly, we're gonna have to do something about that. But what I kind of forgot is I wanted that slot or that pouch for my sandpaper and whatnot, so we're just gonna add that into the back here. So for that, we're just gonna go to the top plane, or to the top, and start sketching that out. So I think if we just it just needs to be like a 1/2 inch slot. So if we just make this 3/4 of an inch, convert this is where we're gonna fix that corner, or fix this weird loop-de-deal here. I kind of want this to be, I want it to be right in line, so it's kind of like half of a cup holder, a half solid cup holder, I don't know what you call it. And then we'll just bring this up all the way. Trim these, bring this out. And we'll trim this up. We need to get rid of these. There you go. So that kind of fixes that. And then we want that to be touching. Well, exactly. There might be a little bit of a kind of bulge or something, but it's fine. Extrude boss these down. Up to surface, and we'll just make it come all the way down to the bottom here. Okay, there we have it. That looks way better with that looped around there. I think that looks good. So the next step is just going to be cutting a slot in the back there for our sandpaper, and then poking the holes in there for the screwdriver and the glue stick. So I'm going to quickly rip through those because it's just a bunch of cuts. Pretty boring. Okay, so there we have it. We have our holes put in there for the glue stick and the screwdriver and then our paper. So the next thing is we need to make a slot for the pliers to go in. So this one's going to be a little bit different though. I want it right in the middle of this section right here, but it's going to be like some complex cuts because it's kind of got a weird shape to it. So what I'm going to do instead of this one, instead of cutting straight down, I'm actually going to cut right in the middle. So to do that, I'm going to make a reference plane right in the middle of the two faces that I can sketch on and then do a mid-plane cut. So to create some reference geometry, I'm just going to go into reference geometry and choose plane. And then all I need to do is I need to choose this front face and this back face, and it'll automatically give me a reference plane right in the middle of the two. So that's good, it's fully defined. And there we have it. So now I can start sketching on this new plane that I created. And to start off, we're going to find the center point between these two objects. And then we can make our center line down. And then this is going to come down. Perfect. Now, if I look at the front side, I can sketch out this kind of weird shape that I need for this. And now we're just going to extrude cut. Like I said, we're going to just mid-plane cut this so that we get it right in the center of our section. Don't want that. And I'm pretty sure it is 1/2 inch. Perfect. Now we got that section in the middle. If we take a cross-sectional view, you can see right there it's cut out. Perfect. So now that we got that wrapped up, it's on to the nozzle holder slash drawer slash SD card holder. So I think for that, I'm gonna do something on the kind of the left side that's kind of, I want to do something kind of slope. So you have like the nozzles at the top and then your SD cards and then your drawer. So it's kind of nice cascading towards you. So to do this, we're gonna start a sketch on this side and just rough out something. And I think that'll look good if it comes down to there. And this will come up. And then we'll make this 0.5, 0.6, 0.625. That looks good. This is too small though. This needs a bigger drawer, but I like actually no, it doesn't matter. We'll break it. That doesn't need to be there. We want a taller drawer. We want a drawer that's at least 1.5 inches tall. Extrude boss this back, and then we'll make it about we'll make it about 2.5 inches. That looks good. Cool. Now we're gonna start cutting into this. So I'm just gonna cut some holes in the top for those nozzles, for our spare nozzles. Like to keep like steel ones or different sizes. I want to do some printing with carbon infused or fiberglass infused resin. So for that you need a steel nozzle. So I want to show you a quick trick for laying out spacings on holes. There's a cool tool called the segment tool. If you choose it, you're able to choose a line and then choose some instances that you want dots put at. So I want about 4 nozzles. So I'll just choose that line, choose 4, and then it gives me 4 perfectly even spaced indicators. And then all I have to do is come back with some circles. I got really big on those ones. Make them all the same size. I think they need to be about 0.25. I think it needs about 0.275 because I don't forget what the threads are on there. And then just extrude cut it down. Just about 1/2 inch should be good. Perfecto. Now we need to cut slots for the SD cards. So the only thing is, if the SD card's too far in, it's kind of hard to get your thumb up against the SD card to pull it out. Maybe I just have fat thumbs. But to remedy that, we're gonna kind of cut these out. I've seen this done on, I think I've seen it done on like a Nintendo Switch game cartridge holder or something that somebody designed. But I think it's really neat. So we're gonna do something similar here. So what we're gonna do is kind of cut a thumb hole out. So we're just gonna kind of make some geometry here. Throw this bad boy down here and slide it. I don't know. 0.275? 25? 25's too far. 0.275? Still too far. 0.3? 0.3 looks good. And then we're just gonna cut this out too, just to give it a less kind of sharp edge on that front there. But these aren't gonna be very much. These are only gonna be a 30-second. I am Canadian, but I do all my measurements in inches just because that's what I'm used to in my industry. So no, I'm always working in freedom units. Okay, so we're just gonna mirror this thing over. Extrude cut. And flip that around. Bind. Roll. Just like that. So now we got a nice, ooh, that looks good. Now we got a nice little thumb holder or something for you. Once we get that filleted up, that'll look perfect. I like that. Good job. Good job. Okay, so now what we want to do is make the holders for the Allen keys. I'm going to whip through that quickly. We're just going to time lapse through that because it's just going to be an extrude boss and some holes cut. So let's get to that. Okay, so we got the holes put in there for the Allen key storage. Now we're just gonna cut that hole for our drawer system to sit into. So we're just gonna start a sketch over here, and we're just gonna make this a rectangle. This is an 1/8 up, I think. We just make that there. Make all the walls an 1/8 of an inch. My go-to measurement, 1/8 of an inch. No. Perfect. Extrude cut that back. We're gonna extrude cut it up to here. Line up to surface. Probably could go back a little bit farther, seeing as these are kind of in, but I think that'll be good enough. We'll have to forget what that measurement is. 1 3/4 probably. 1 3/4, yeah. Okay, so that works good. We could just put the drawer and have it just kind of sit in there. But I kind of want to make it like a real drawer with like drawer slides. But we're just going to have solid drawer slides. So they're just going to be two, I guess, basic jut outs on the side. So one thing that's kind of a bummer with this design is it's going to take a lot of support material in order to hold up this overhang. Just because I'm going to want to print it vertically like it's sitting right now. But it's gonna be a one-off thing, so I'm not too worried about it. But if you're making lots of these, this is not a good design. So now we need to make the actual drawer for this, and this doesn't need to be very far in. Like I'm thinking, if you give it a 30-second, that might be tight, but we're gonna give it a go. So the only thing is I don't want this kind of floating there. I want it to sit on those rests. So we're just gonna delete the reference out of here. And we're gonna delete the relationship out of here. So we don't have that distance relationship. Now I don't know why this happens. I don't know if it's only for me, but if you look at this, this is still fully defined. Like SolidWorks thinks this is defined, even though we deleted all those relations. Even if I do this, like it says it's already defined. I don't understand. But if you just give it a magic wiggle, boom, not fully defined anymore. I don't know why it does this. Makes no sense. But we're just gonna make that up against there. And then we're gonna go to the other side. Give it the magic wiggle. Boom. No longer defined. Up against there, perfect. Okay, so that's the outline of the drawer. What I do when I want to create like extra parts that are kind of based on this, you could make like in context if you made it into an assembly, but all I do is I just take this sketch and then go file, new part, and then I just make a sketch on the front plane and just paste that sketch in there, and then use something called the, if you right click, the fully defined sketch. And then from this, you're able to choose your like baseline dimension or baselines that you want. So I want these two center ones. That's going to put the origin or all the dimensions off that center point where they intersect. And then we're just going to select midpoint, make this. Oh, it didn't. It didn't. Let's try this again. Fully defined sketch. Point. This one. Line. Yeah, that worked. This one. That line. Should be good. There you go. That worked that time. Select midpoint. And make that point there. Now we're just going to extrude boss this out. And then cut a hole in the top. Make this come out. So it's got an 1/8 inch wall on the top. And then a 1/4 inch wall on the side so that it doesn't interfere with the slots here. You could use a shell feature, but I don't really want it to shell around this because then I'm gonna have to have more support material that's hard to get out. I cut right through the box. It's not gonna be helpful for anybody. And we'll make this offset from surface. And we want that, you people guessed it, 1/8 of an inch. Oh, did I forget? I didn't make this the correct dimension. This is supposed to be 1/4 inch, not 1/8 inch. Okay, that's perfect. I'm just gonna add a little doodad to grab on a little handle. So we're just gonna add a little handle here, 1.25 and 0.5. Hit the exit key instead of. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna quickly go through and fill everything up, and then I already have the printer turned on to time-lapse mode, so we're gonna throw it on there and quickly print one out. So let's go. There we go, guys. That's my submission for this month's Prusa Design Challenge. Win or lose, I finally have all my 3D printed stuff organized, which feels amazing. If you're part of that community, I really recommend trying out some of their challenges. They're fun, you could win something, and they're great for the community. But that's going to be about it for this project. So thank you, CAD friends, again for watching. I will catch you in the next one.